You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network.
Things just got messy between former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker in their divorce. Todd just objected to Kandi's request to have this divorce sealed. But not only that, it was just a couple of days ago that Kandi revealed in court that she pays for basically everything. And she wants the court to come up with a temporary schedule for their two minors. So I feel like anytime you guys ask me about Kandi or anytime you ask me about an update on a story, then something magically appears. Well, I saw this a couple of days ago and just now had the opportunity to look up the court docs and give you an update. So, the divorce between Kandi and Todd, although when Kandi talks about this on Amazon, which is important to note because this comes up in the recent update in this case, she basically was saying it seemed like things were very amicable between the two. We saw pictures of them celebrating the holidays together. As you know, Kandi is on Broadway in New York City, and the kids, she revealed on Amazon Live, were going to come spend the holidays with her in New York. We saw photos of them celebrating the holidays together, both Kandi and Todd. So we're thinking everything is copacetic, everything is good. Well, the court docs say otherwise. So let me just give you a brief overview, and then I just want to get into the actual court docs. So our friends over at the Baller wrote this article just a couple of days ago. They said the legal battle between Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker is reportedly reaching a breaking point as the new year begins. According to an emergency motion allegedly submitted on January 8th, 2026. Not allegedly, I got the court docs. It was definitely submitted on January 8th. Kandi's claiming that she has been left to cover the entirety of the cost for their two minor children, Ace and Blaze. I just want to point out to you, there's this photo, and I'm going to bring up the photo that you guys should see. There is a picture that Todd posted over the weekend, which is also important to note because it seems as if Kandi's also saying that he's only posting these social media posts to make him seem like a caring parent, or at least a very involved parent. But you have to take a look at this photo because this photo, I didn't even pay attention to this till I took a closer look. Because when you look at the photo, please pay attention to who's behind the scenes over Todd's head. Let me show you this photo. So Todd posted this on his social media a couple of days ago. And you see the photo of him and Ace and Blaze, but right over the shoulder, I need to zoom in so that you guys can see this. Zoom in. Whose face is that do you see behind them? I mean, zoom in. Look at the face over. Now, Mama Joyce, look at Mama Joyce's face. So everyone in the comment section are laughing about this. Like, look at Mama Joyce behind her. She ain't never liked Todd. Now I'm wondering, do we all owe Mama Joyce an apology?
That is funny.
Because the way that this is playing out, seems like she might have been right. So the reported filing suggests that the singer and entrepreneur is currently paying for everything from school tuition and medical bills to daily necessities, despite Todd allegedly income streams of his own. This alleged financial strain marks a significant shift from Kandi's earlier public statements about maintaining a civil co-parenting relationship. The reported court documents also take aim at Todd's recent lifestyle choices and social media presence. Kandi alleges that while she has remained focused on professional growth and family responsibilities, Todd has reportedly been taking multiple vacations overseas. Furthermore, the motion, mind you, they have not even been divorcing this long. Furthermore, the motion alleges that Todd's daddy daycare persona on social media is a facade.
Lies! The lie!
Okay? Claiming that he has not been showing up for his scheduled parenting time. So let me get into the actual court docs because I think that's important to note. This was filed on January 8th. And it was hard to find. Kandi, I get it. I get why Kandi wants to keep this under seal. She doesn't want all of us talking about this. But we have to because we've been talking about this from the beginning. So let me just get into some of what is being said in the actual court docs. So they talk about who this is involved in. They talk about the person that's filing. They give you just kind of the background. But let me get into the nitty-gritty of what is being talked about. So they say this: the respondent is a self-employed entrepreneur who possesses the earnings and an earning capacity to financially support 2 minor children and make financial contributions to the children's expenses. The respondent possesses multiple sources of income currently and throughout the duration of the marriage. But now I'm wondering, so if you're currently paying all of these things, Kandi, were you always paying all of these things and maybe he was paying other things? I'm trying to understand, when did this change? They can see this: respondent does not pay the mortgage or expenses at the marital residence, which I'm not surprised at that, because I expected that Kandi would walk away with this property because we saw her get this property before she even married Todd. So he doesn't pay the mortgage or expenses at the marital residence. The respondent does not exercise parenting time with the minor children on a significant basis, despite the facade of his 2 to 3 minute social media videos chronicling his, quote, daddy daycare on his social media platforms. So since the petitioner filed her petition for divorce, the respondent, which is Todd Tucker, has intentionally and willfully attempted to interfere with the petitioner's parenting time with the minor children, specifically during the recent Christmas holiday break. So remember, she went on her Amazon Live talking about how the kids were going to be spending the holidays with her. She also talked about how she would love to have a divorce this Christmas. When people ask about the one thing that she wants for Christmas, she says, a divorce. So the respondent attempted to prohibit the children from traveling to New York to visit the petitioner, even though she had previously incurred costs of travel for the children, and provide the respondent with significant notice of her intent to exercise parenting time during the children's designated holiday break. Court intervention is essential to ensure the petitioner will be able to exercise consistent and peaceful parenting time with the minor children while the divorce proceedings are pending before this honorable court. The petitioner requests that the court issue a temporary parenting plan that affords the parties with respective scheduled parenting time with the minor children on a temporary basis. The petitioner requests that the temporary parenting plan also includes a plan that addresses how the parties shall split time with the minor children during the upcoming holidays and academic breaks. The petitioner has already secured travel itineraries for the children for their upcoming spring break. Therefore, she requests that she be awarded parenting time with the minor children during their upcoming spring break during an even calendar years on a temporary basis. So it's important to note that, for those that aren't familiar, Kandi's currently here in New York City on Broadway. She mentioned that the kids would be spending the holidays with her on her Amazon Live. I'm assuming that this was already agreed upon and worked out with Todd. But apparently, there was some sort of issue over the holidays, hence why she had this emergency motion. The petitioner requests that the court schedule a hearing to address the issues of the temporary child support and parenting time at the court's earliest available date for consideration. The word on the street, that happened this morning. Based on what I saw in regards to Fulton County's update, there was some sort of hearing. I don't have the actual court docs just yet. So they continue in regards to those were the details. So Kandi would like a temporary schedule that is assigned by the court. And I'm not surprised at this, because she probably thought, well, we could do this amicably between ourselves in regards to figuring out a schedule. And then there was some sort of hiccup during the holidays. So now she's like, I'm no longer going to do this through communication with you. We're going to get the court to come up with their own schedule, and we will have to abide by that schedule. Well, the mess continues. So shout out to our friends over at Straight From the A, and also our friends on X for bringing this to our attention. Baddies TV, the girls are fighting. They write this. They said, in the court filing, Todd Tucker states that the petitioner has incessantly discussed the divorce with various media outlets, including print, televised, and online platforms, while the husband has refrained from any public commentary regarding the matter. So this was his response to her wanting to have this divorce sealed. Honestly, just from that first sentence, it is true. Kandi has been the only one that's talked about this publicly. He has not talked about this publicly. He's insinuated things, but he has not said anything publicly about this divorce. So Todd argues that the Georgia law presumes court records are public and that Burris has not shown why this case should be treated differently from any other divorce cases. Tucker acknowledges protecting the party's minor children, but asserts the requested sealing is overbroad and asks the court to deny the motion in full. Why do you think Todd wants this to be out in the open? Wouldn't you think that he would want this sealed as well to protect the children? Well, that was the claim that Kandi put when she filed for this motion to have their divorce proceedings sealed. And that could be for various reasons, because a lot can be exposed in divorce. How much is Kandi making, really, as opposed to what the streets think? How much is Todd making? Maybe he doesn't care because it'll be a lot more than people ever thought. It could be all of those different reasons. So I'm a little surprised that this is getting as messy as it is, but Mama Joyce probably is not surprised at all. Guys, are you surprised by this update that Todd has asked the court to deny the motion to seal this case? And are you also surprised that, according to Kandi in her latest emergency motion, that Todd is interfering with her parenting time and she would like a temporary schedule developed by the court? I can see why she's filing this. Spring break is right around the corner. Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac is throwing her bestie, Gizelle Bryant, under the bus, revealing that she knew about her hookup with Charisse's son, Jackson. Not only that, Gizelle Bryant is spilling some tea on what we can expect from Karen Huger during the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. So yesterday we recapped the Real Housewives of Potomac and we told you our thoughts on the episode. So there's been a lot of Real Housewives of Potomac fallout just in the last 24 hours, from interviews that Angel Massey has done and her thoughts on Wendy Asefo and her going to jail. Look, what can we say? I feel like Angel has so much to say now. It will be very interesting to see how she does based off the edit at the reunion. We shall see. But one of the surprises that we revealed last week was the fact that Karen Huger was going to be making an appearance during the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. So Gizelle, on her podcast, revealed more details about Karen and if Karen has changed since the last time that she was on the show. Because if you forgot, Karen was saying, I would be vindicated. She really downplayed her DUI, only for her to end up serving 6 months of her 1-year sentence. So let me show you what Gizelle had to say. We're going to play this under fair use. Of course, you can hear the full interview on their YouTube channel and their podcast, Reasonably Shady Podcast.
I just came back from filming season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes.
What's it called? Reunion.
Your reunion. Congratulations. Yes. On the 10th, season 10 reunion. Wow.
Yes. And it was a bit of a, I don't want to say.
It makes me wonder how Robin feels, because obviously Robin would love to be back on the show. I already spilled that tea. She was asked back for this last season, but to be a friend of, but she turned that down. And as you saw this season when they did the Reasonably Shady party, she did not attend. So she might feel away. So this was nice of her to celebrate her friend, 10 years of being on the show. She's an OG. She's a part of what made Potomac what Potomac is today. So I think we should give regular Robin her flowers in part of being a part of this huge show.
A celebratory, season 10. I mean, it's a milestone.
It should be, yeah.
We did talk about some things that have happened like over the past 10 years, a decade. It's like, wow. But, we did see Karen, the grand dame got to come back and grace us with her presence.
Okay.
And,
yeah.
Notice how she said a little bit. So I'm thinking Karen will probably only be coming out for the part 3 of the reunion. It suggested that maybe they would tease it in part 2, but it sounds like she's really going to have a small segment in part 3 of the reunion. And one of the things that Gizelle reveals in this episode is the fact that Karen has her own episode. So I'm thinking that one of these episodes of Potomac, a part of the season, will be this sit down. So there will be probably a lot of questions answered during this sit down.
I mean, I know you can't really say a whole lot. But I was was she more there? I assume she wasn't getting questioned the way everyone else gets questioned. It was probably
that already happened.
Oh, right, right.
and I can say this because it was in like a clip that Andy does go to her home, and that's an episode. Like they talk, and he questions her pretty intensely, just about where she is with her whole journey. And so I don't think he wanted to do that again so heavily, but yeah, he had a lot of questions for her for sure, because time has passed since then. So maybe that was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I can tell, and I saw her when she first got out, and I can tell that there's a big difference between then and now. Like she's solid. I feel like she's at a great place. I do.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
well, I know the folks will be excited to see that.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just happy that she's in a safe space, you know, and I've told you this, like when she went away, I was just highly concerned for her safety.
Oh yeah.
But so, you know, to know that she's back home and in her bed is a great thing. And she did say that she calls it the county wanted to make sure that she was safe. And, you know, that they played a big emphasis on her well-being. So, you know, and it wouldn't have been put on anyone had something happened to Karen.
Right. So,
yeah.
All right, that's good. So it's like prison is once you've been sentenced and you're like there for like however long, years or whatever.
Okay, for your time. You're there for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's some.
Unfortunately, we have some other people that we know that are going to be able to talk about that. Anyway, move on.
The little Wendy Acefo shade. Unfortunately, shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV. You know, what we like to do here on our channel, cite our sources for getting us that clip from the Reasonably Shady podcast, because you know I'm not watching that over there. Just saying, don't have the time. I'm actually really interested to see this one-on-one with Karen, because one of my frustrations with Karen Huger during her last season was the fact that she didn't show any accountability. And everyone made the excuse, oh, she can't show accountability because she's fighting this case, blah, blah, blah. And only for us to see everything that played out in regards to her arrest and how embarrassing that was. And the fact that you still decided to fight this case knowing that was out there. And no matter what people say, oh, she didn't see the footage. But you know who was there that was sober? Ray Huger. And maybe she didn't want to listen to him. But then again, I'm looking at you, Karen. So if someone's telling you this is what you did and who you were on that night, and you still decided to fight this, she served her time, though. She's still serving her time when you think about it. She's on probation and she can't drive for the next year. So, in other Potomac news, Ashley Darby has been doing interviews, and I saw this clip, and I can't tell you how cringy this is, but I'm not surprised because I've been telling you this entire last season that I feel like Ashley Darby is very much like Michael Darby. Hence why they were married to each other for as long as they were married to each other. But I'm seeing more of that than ever in Ashley Darby's behavior. So as you know, part of a storyline that they created this season, Ashley Darby sat down with Sharice Jackson, who subsequently went on a press tour constantly bringing this up, revealed that she had hooked up with Sharice Jackson's son, Jackson. And I'm just so tired of this story, but they keep pushing it out there. But this time, Ashley is revealing that Gizelle knew. She says Gizelle knew, and she then says that Gizelle asked, how did his lips feel?
Hell no.
Y'all are all weird. And now you know Sharice is going to do another press tour just off the strength of this clip. Let me show you what Ashley Cringy Darby said.
Secret keeper for me is Gizelle, because Gizelle knew about my little tryst with Jackson and she never told Sharice. I told Gizelle like the day after it happened, and this was like 2 years ago. So yeah, we've been holding it for quite a while.
What did Gizelle say?
She cackled, and then she was like, how was it? How did his lips feel? You know, and so we had a whole little kiki about it.
We had a whole key about it. Like, just looking at her facial expression in telling this story annoys me. I'm just like, you have like no boundaries. And I'm telling you right now, please pay attention to what I'm saying. This woman is dangerous and a liability for the network. She will do anything for a storyline, produce a moment. And I know Charisse has said that she feels as if that is exactly what Ashley Darby was doing. She was trying to create a storyline, which I've been telling you, I heard word on the street is that the OGs, felt like it was a lackluster season. They felt like the newbies weren't bringing it. So this could have been one of the last stitch efforts that they were making in order to make the season interesting. No, if anything, it makes us cringe. And the fact that Gizelle knew about this 2 years ago, well, guess who also revealed that they knew about this 2 years ago? Mia Thornton was in the comment section of our friends over at Reality Rundown saying Ashley told everyone 2 years ago, nobody cared. So do you think, with everyone knowing, that Charisse did know? I don't know, because I just feel like Charisse runs in a lot of different circles. If everybody knew, why wasn't that information relayed back to Charisse at some particular point? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they all took it to their graves. However, according to Mia, she says everybody knew, but nobody cared. So it's very interesting that she decided to bring this up this season when Charisse was filming with them. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, there are two adults. Why is it's not a big deal. It's moments like this, watching Ashley talk about this and then talk about telling this to Gizelle, and Gizelle is being messy about it and like, how did his lips feel? Gizelle, I'm going to give you the same example that I gave in the last time we talked about the story. How would you feel if a Michael Darby, okay, never mind. Let me not even use Michael Darby. Let me use Michael Darby because I just like switching the roles. Or a Juan Dixon was now dating or dated one of your daughters. How would you feel about that? You probably wouldn't like that, would you? I think because Ashley's a woman, people sort of downplay it, but I wonder how she would feel if it was one of her kids and Ashley was using this as some sort of storyline. I did find it interesting that Ashley was throwing Gizelle under the bus in this interview, but I've told you before, Ashley is loyal to no one. I don't even know if she's loyal to herself. She's loyal to no one, so she will throw anyone under the bus. But Gizelle probably wouldn't care either because Giselle's just like, anything that's good that's going to keep people talking about the show. I wish you guys would have a little bit more scruples for yourselves. But I think that is just the cycle of reality television. People will do whatever to keep their checks and to keep themselves on reality television. Gross. Gross. I literally almost threw up in my mouth when I saw that clip. Guys, I want to know your thoughts and reactions to some of the updates that we have in regards to Karen Huger and her appearance on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, and what Ashley Darby is now revealing that Gizelle did in fact know 2 years ago. Mia Thornton apparently knew as well. Apparently everyone on the cast at the time knew. I'm assuming Karen Huger as well. And no one told Charisse? Interesting. Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac is throwing her bestie, Gizelle Bryant, under the bus, revealing that she knew about her hookup with Charisse's son, Jackson. Not only that, Gizelle Bryant is spilling some tea on what we can expect from Karen Huger during the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. So yesterday we recapped the Real Housewives of Potomac and we told you our thoughts on the episode. So there's been a lot of Real Housewives of Potomac fallout just in the last 24 hours, from interviews that Angel Massey has done and her thoughts on Wendy Asefo and her going to jail. Look, what can we say? I feel like Angel has so much to say now. It will be very interesting to see how she does based off the edit at the reunion. We shall see. But one of the surprises that we revealed last week was the fact that Karen Huger was going to be making an appearance during the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. So Gizelle on her podcast revealed more details about Karen and if Karen has changed since the last time that she was on the show. Because if you forgot, Karen was saying, I would be vindicated. She really downplayed her DUI, only for her to end up serving 6 months of her 1-year sentence. So let me show you what Gizelle had to say. We're going to play this under fair use. Of course, you can hear the full interview on their YouTube channel and their podcast, Reasonably Shady Podcast.
I just came back from filming season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes.
What's it called? Reunion.
Your reunion. Congratulations. Yes. On the 10th, season 10 reunion. Wow.
Yes. And it was a bit of a, I don't want to say,
It makes me wonder how Robin feels, because obviously Robin would love to be back on the show. I already spilled that tea. She was asked back for this last season, but to be a friend of, but she turned that down. And as you saw this season when they did the Reasonably Shady party, she did not attend. So she might feel away. So this was nice of her to celebrate her friend, 10 years of being on the show. She's an OG. She's a part of what made Potomac what Potomac is today. So I think we should give regular Robin her flowers in part of being a part of this huge show.
A celebratory, season 2. I mean, it's a milestone.
It should be.
So,
yeah.
We did talk about some things that have happened like over the past 10 years, a decade. It's like, wow. But, we did see Karen, the grand dame got to come back and grace us with her presence.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Notice how she said a little bit. So I'm thinking Karen will probably only be coming out for the part 3 of the reunion. It suggested that maybe they would tease it in part 2, but it sounds like she's really going to have a small segment in part 3 of the reunion. And one of the things that Gizelle reveals in this episode is the fact that Karen has her own episode. So I'm thinking that one of these episodes of Potomac, a part of the season, will be this sit down. So there will be probably a lot of questions answered during this sit down.
I mean, I know you can't really say a whole lot. But I was was she more there? I assume she wasn't getting questioned the way everyone else gets questioned. It was probably
that already happened.
Oh, right.
And I can say this because it was in a clip that Andy does go to her home, and that's an episode. They talk, and he questions her pretty intensely, just about where she is with her whole journey. And so I don't think he wanted to do that again so heavily, but yeah, he had a lot of questions for her for sure, because time has passed since then. So maybe that was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I can tell, and I saw her when she first got out, and I can tell that there's a big difference between then and now. She's solid. I feel like she's at a great place. I do.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I know the folks will be excited to see that.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just happy that she's in a safe space, and I've told you this, when she went away, I was just highly concerned for her safety.
Oh yeah.
But so, to know that she's back home and in her bed is a great thing. And she did say that she calls it the county wanted to make sure that she was safe. And, that they played a big emphasis on her well-being. So, and it wouldn't have been put on anyone had something happened to Karen.
Right.
So,
yeah. All right, that's good. So it's like prison is once you've been sentenced and you're there for however long, years or whatever.
Okay, for your time. You're there for your time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's so.
Unfortunately, we have some other people that we know that are going to be able to talk about that. Anyway, move on.
The little Wendy Acefo shade. Unfortunately, shout out to our friends over at No Chaser TV. What we like to do here on our channel, cite our sources for getting us that clip from the Reasonably Shady podcast, because I'm not watching that over there. Just saying, don't have the time. I'm actually really interested to see this one-on-one with Karen, because one of my frustrations with Karen Huger during her last season was the fact that she didn't show any accountability. And everyone made the excuse, she can't show accountability because she's fighting this case, blah, blah, blah. And only for us to see everything that played out in regards to her arrest and how embarrassing that was. And the fact that you still decided to fight this case knowing that was out there. And no matter what people say, she didn't see the footage. But who was there that was sober? Ray Huger. And maybe she didn't want to listen to him. But then again, I'm looking at you, Karen. So if someone's telling you this is what you did and who you were on that night, and you still decided to fight this, she served her time, though. She's still serving her time when you think about it. She's on probation and she can't drive for the next year. So In other Potomac news, Ashley Darby has been doing interviews, and I saw this clip, and I can't tell you how cringy this is, but I'm not surprised because I've been telling you this entire last season that I feel like Ashley Darby is very much like Michael Darby. Hence why they were married to each other for as long as they were married to each other. But I'm seeing more of that than ever in Ashley Darby's behavior. So as you know, part of a storyline that they created this season, Ashley Darby sat down with Sharice Jackson, who subsequently went on a press tour constantly bringing this up, revealed that she had hooked up with Sharice Jackson's son, Jackson. And I'm just so tired of this story, but they keep pushing it out there. But this time, Ashley is revealing that Gizelle knew. She says Gizelle knew, and she then says that Gizelle asked, how did his lips feel?
Hell no.
Y'all are all weird. And now you know Sharice is going to do another press tour just off the strength of this clip. Let me show you what Ashley Cringy Darby said.
Secret keeper for me is Gizelle, because Gizelle knew about my little tryst with Jackson and she never told Sharice. I told Gizelle like the day after it happened, and this was like 2 years ago. So yeah, we've been holding it for quite a while.
What did Gizelle say?
She cackled. She cackled, and then she was like, how was it? How did his lips feel? You know, and so we had a whole little kiki about it.
We had a whole key about it. Like, just looking at her facial expression in telling this story annoys me. I'm just like, you have like no boundaries. And I'm telling you right now, please pay attention to what I'm saying. This woman is dangerous and a liability for the network. She will do anything for a storyline, produce a moment. And I know Sharice has said that she feels as if that is exactly what Ashley Darby was doing. She was trying to create a storyline, which I've been telling you, I heard word on the street, is that the OGs, felt like it was a lackluster season. They felt like the newbies weren't bringing it. So this could have been one of the last-stitch efforts that they were making in order to make the season interesting. No, if anything, it makes us cringe. And the fact that Gizelle knew about this 2 years ago, well, guess who also revealed that they knew about this 2 years ago? Mia Thornton was in the comment section of our friends over at Reality Rundown saying Ashley told everyone 2 years ago, nobody cared. So do you think, with everyone knowing, that Sharice did know? I don't know, because I just feel like Sharice runs in a lot of different circles. If everybody knew, why wasn't that information relayed back to Sharice at some particular point? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe they all took it to their graves. However, according to Mia, she says everybody knew, but nobody cared. So it's very interesting that she decided to bring this up this season when Sharice was filming with them. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, there are two adults. Why is it's not a big deal? It's moments like this, watching Ashley talk about this and then talk about telling this to Gizelle, and Gizelle is being messy about it and like, how did his lips feel? Gizelle, I'm going to give you the same example that I gave in the last time we talked about the story. How would you feel if a Michael Darby, okay, never mind. Let me not even use Michael Darby. Let me use Michael Darby because I just like switching the roles. Or a Juan Dixon was now dating or dated one of your daughters. How would you feel about that? You probably wouldn't like that, would you? I think because Ashley's a woman, people sort of downplay it, but I wonder how she would feel if it was one of her kids and Ashley was using this as some sort of storyline. I did find it interesting that Ashley was throwing Gizelle under the bus in this interview, but I've told you before, Ashley is loyal to no one. I don't even know if she's loyal to herself. She's loyal to no one, so she will throw anyone under the bus. But Gizelle probably wouldn't care either because Giselle's just like, anything that's good that's going to keep people talking about the show. I wish you guys would have a little bit more scruples for yourselves. But I think that is just the cycle of reality television. People will do whatever to keep their checks and to keep themselves on reality television. Gross. Gross. I literally almost threw up in my mouth when I saw that clip. Guys, I want to know your thoughts and reactions to some of the updates that we have in regards to Karen Huger and her appearance on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, and what Ashley Darby is now revealing that Gizelle did in fact know 2 years ago. Mia Thornton apparently knew as well. Apparently everyone on the cast at the time knew. I'm assuming Karen Huger as well. and no one told Charisse? Interesting. Donnie McClurkin is breaking his silence after he was accused in a recent lawsuit of sexual assault. Not only that, L.A. Reid recently settled his sexual assault lawsuit hours before he was set to go to trial. So I've been following this Donnie McClurkin story for the last week, so I did want to do a video and talk about this with you guys. But first, I wanted to give you an update on the L.A. Reid story. This is a lawsuit that we haven't had an opportunity to report on. However, I did keep my ears to the streets in regards to the update on this. Reportedly, John Legend was set to testify in this trial. However, just hours before it was set to start, they reached a settlement. According to Variety, they said music producer L.A. Reid has reached a settlement with Drew Dixon, a former Arista executive who accused him of SAing her in 2001. Dixon filed a lawsuit in 2023 under a New York law that temporarily suspended the statute of limitations for SA. She alleged that Reid SA'd her twice, first during a private flight and again later in his car. Reid was president and CEO of Arista at the time. That's not that long ago. Kenya Davis, Dixon's attorney, applauded her in a statement announcing that the settlement had been reached. Drew has been one of the most courageous, outspoken supporters of survivors of sexual abuse, Davis said. Her advocacy, including her instrumental role in advancing the Adult Survivors Act, has helped shift the balance of power in the music industry, creating a path for justice for survivors. Reid's attorney, Imran Ansari, stressed that the settlement does not include an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Reid has amicably resolved this matter with Ms. Dixon without any admission of liability, Ansari says. It's just interesting timing because they reached a settlement hours before this was set to go to trial. And yes, this is normal legal verbiage that they will say if you reach a settlement. This in no way means that this person was guilty. But it's interesting, whatever the price actually was right at this particular point, hours before it was set to go to trial, because they know if this goes to trial, it's going to expose a lot. That's part of the reason why a lot of times people will reach a settlement, because they don't want more things to come out. So both Dixon and Reid were expected to take the stand at the trial in federal court in New York. John Legend was also expected to testify. Dixon had suggested that Reid failed to sign Legend as a means of retaliating against her for her refusal of his sexual advances. Dixon has also alleged that she was AR'd by Russell Simmons in 1995. You know the Russell Simmons that is in Bali? Joining some 20 other women who have accused Simmons of sexual misconduct. She filed a lawsuit against Simmons in 2024, alleging that he had defamed her by denying the accusations. That suit remains pending and is in the discovery phase. Since we're talking about these sort of transgressions, Donnie McClurkin was accused about a week ago by a former assistant of SA as well. The LA Times writes this in regards to the lawsuit. They said Donnie McClurkin, the Grammy Award-winning gospel singer and minister who has publicly denounced homosexuality, has been sued for sexually abusing his former male personal assistant. McClurkin, who's 66, faces allegations of SA, sexual battery, and more in the civil lawsuit filed Friday in New York County Supreme Court. The singer's accuser, identified in court documents as Giuseppe Corletto, accuses McClurkin of SAing him numerous times from the start of his employment in 2004 to 2015. The complaint also included an alleged email from the singer in which he apologizes for his actions and writes, "I am the actual epitome of a desperate, dirty old man." So I have the email here. And again, this all has to be verified. At this particular point, Donnie McClurkin's attorneys have not confirmed that if this email is even valid. But in this email that was sent on June 28th, 2013 at 11:36 a.m., the subject says, "My apology." He says, allegedly, Donnie McClurkin says, "The first thing I want to do is apologize again," in capitals, "to you. I know I apologize for my wrong attitude from Wednesday, but I want to apologize for all of my behavior that has been wrong and put you in a wrong place. I am the actual epitome of a dirty old man, pawning and groping a young man who is just looking for a friendship and close platonic relationship with someone he wants looks to for help, guidance, and spirituality. I was trying to get to a realm of sexuality that wasn't right and wasn't right for you, or me, for that matter. I feel so foul, so stupid. He continues, he says, I'm old enough to be your father and want to be something else to you. You don't have that desire for me, and I shouldn't have it for you. I force myself on you, groping on you, and when I think about it, you never really touched me like that at all. Just wanted to sleep together and hug occasionally. I am really embarrassed at how I am and how I acted. You're far too important to be treated like that from me or anyone. I'm not helping you in any way by doing this, and I'm only making a fool out of myself being so desperate. I have no one, and I feel it more than ever. But I was horribly wrong trying to force you into something that you weren't consistently saying no to. I am too old to be like this. Again, that's an alleged email from Donnie McClurkin to Giuseppe Corletto. A legal representative for McClurkin denied the allegations as, quote, categorically false. At no time did Pastor McClurkin engage in any form of sexual abuse, assault, or sexual coercion of Mr. Corletto. McClurkin's attorney, Gregory S. Lisi, said in a statement shared on Tuesday, the claims set forth in the lawsuit grossly mischaracterized their interactions, which occurred over a decade and some accusations over 2 decades ago. All these allegations are contradicted by the real facts. Lisi added that Pastor McClurkin denies each and every allegation of wrongdoing and intends to vigorously defend against this lawsuit through the appropriate legal process. As this is now active litigation, Pastor McClurkin will not be commenting further at this time. So I'm guessing he went against his attorney's wishes by releasing the video that we're about to show you. The lawsuit claims that Corletto was 21 years old and struggling with his sexuality when he met McClurkin, known for songs I Call You Faithful and Wait on the Lord, in August of 2003. Corletto attended a reading from McClurkin's 2001 book, Eternal Victim, Eternal Victor, centered on the singer's experience of being delivered on homosexuality, and met the singer according to court documents. Corletto sought guidance from the Grammy winner, who hired him as a personal assistant. The two men developed a mentor-mentee relationship and engaged in the Pray the Gay Away spiritual sessions, during which defendant McClurkin groped plaintiff's genitals without consent, according to the lawsuit. McClurkin has also allegedly set up scenarios between Corletto and other men and framed them as, quotes, tests from God. In 2007, Corletto and his girlfriend traveled with McClurkin and the singer's family to California, where the artist allegedly S.A.'d Corletto in a hotel room. The lawsuit alleges that McClurkin exposed himself to Corletto before pulling him onto a bed, forcefully kissing and grabbing his body and forcing Corletto to engage in sexual activity. I'll just say that. When Corletto confronted his boss about the alleged assault, McClurkin allegedly said that he had no recollection and blamed Corletto's behavior on medication. The singer further manipulated plaintiff, blaming him for the incident and convincing him that he was the sole culpable party, confusing Corletto, the lawsuit said. The lawsuit alleges that McClurkin exploited this tactic repeatedly, coercing plaintiff into further unwanted sexual acts over the next 6 years, including numerous alleged incidents while he was working at McClurkin's church. The complaint details additional accounts of S.A. from 2007 to 2008. Corletto had attempted to stop working for McClurkin multiple times, the lawsuit said, but the singer refused, telling his assistant that his deliverance and purpose were tied to him. The complaint adds that Corletto told several church staff members of the alleged S.A., but that, quote, no action was taken. Corletto stopped working for McClurkin in 2008, but continued running into the singer in the following years, the lawsuit stated. The, again, artist allegedly S.A. Corletto in 2012 in Orlando, where the latter was training for an airline job. McClurkin learned of his former employee's location through one of Corletto's friends and appeared at his hotel room. The lawsuit alleged that McClurkin said that he needed to talk to Corletto, who reluctantly agreed to let the singer into his room. Inside the hotel room, McClurkin allegedly begged plaintiff to have sex with him one last time, but Carletto refused. Carletto alleged he woke up to find McClurkin pleasuring himself and touching his body before the singer forced himself again on Carletto and raped his former employee, the lawsuit says. Carletto returned to McClurkin's church in the summer of 2013 and joined the singer during a trip to Niagara Falls. McClurkin allegedly SA'd Carletto again and days later sent an email apologizing for his actions, a screenshot included in the lawsuit shows. In addition to likening himself to a desperate, dirty old man, per the lawsuit, McClurkin allegedly wrote to Carletto, "I forced myself on you, groping you, and when I think about it, you never touched me like that at all." McClurkin also allegedly promised to be a friend and pastor to Carletto. 2 years after McClurkin sent the alleged email, Carletto returned to the singer's church amid his struggles with mental health. The lawsuit claims that McClurkin engaged in further sexual misconduct, taking advantage of plaintiff's vulnerability and current fragile mental state. Carletto sustained injury, emotional distress, physical pain, emotional pain, and suffering and loss of enjoyment of life as a result of the SA, the complaint said. He seeks a jury trial, unspecified amount in compensatory damages, legal fees, and additional damages. So since the story gained legs last week, Donnie McClurkin yesterday released a video statement about this. So let's take a look at what he had to say.
Just wanted to address something personally. You've heard a lot that's been going on. You've heard many different accusations lodged and alleged. You've heard some very untrue things. And you've also seen an official statement that I put out. But I wanted to lend my voice and my face to this. And I wanted to let you know that I thank God for every one of you praying for me and for the support. And I thank God for truth, which you have not heard. You have not heard the truth, but you will. But I just didn't want to go any longer without addressing it. I've remained silent while this campaign, this media campaign was launched. I've remained silent because the Bible tells you to be slow to speak. Slow to speak, quick to hear, and slow to anger. And so I had to sit back and I had to pray because there are people that look for this to be true. There are people that have already formed their opinion based on the strategic approach of defamation that's gone forward. But I just want to let you all know from my mouth to you, from my heart to yours, that it's unfortunate that I'm trying to be delicate. It's unfortunate that such allegations have been lodged. I don't understand the machinations of the young man's mind. He's not young, really. He's 40-some-odd years old. But I've been seeing this fellow in over, well, now it's 11 years, since 2015. And I haven't spoken to him since that long either. But people do things for different reasons. Most of them are monetarily motivated. And it's a shame. It's a shame because to consider yourself or to proclaim yourself to be a victim of something that didn't happen discredits the people that it has happened to. And it's a shame. But the one thing that I do know is that truth will always prevail. And the disturbed minds of other people cannot prohibit the truth from speaking loudly. Although a lie is very loud and boisterous and quick, the truth is very slow walking. And it takes a moment, but it comes to the foreground. I just wanted to let you all know. Although this has caused much controversy and it's caused people to formulate opinions, and it's caused people to vilify and to ridicule. The one thing that I can say is I've tried my best throughout all these years to be transparent. I've tried my best and held up the standard of Christ as best I can. Flawed in many ways sometimes, but transparent. And I transparently tell you that this is all fabricated and untrue. And I'm praying for the gentleman. I'm praying for the gentleman that he would regain some kind of lucid thought and give his life to the Lord, really. And just keep me in your prayers. And that's as far as I want to go with this. And on all, it's circulated through all of the major media markets. And I didn't want to go to NBC and TMZ and People Magazine and all the other places that it's been heralded. I wanted to come straight to you. And the best way to do so is through this social media. So know this, from my heart to yours. This is going to be quite interesting, but God knows, and I rely on the Lord. I rely on the Lord to bring all things to the light. And the one thing I've never done is the things that I've been accused of. Ever in my life have I done that. So keep me in your prayers. I'm going out to prayer at 7 o'clock. And you heard it from me now. I love you all.
So that was Donnie McClurkin speaking out for the very first time after being accused of SA from a former male assistant. Here's the thing. Immediately, because I haven't thought of Donnie McClurkin in years, I do recall when he did this whole pray the gay away that he once was homosexual. As an openly homosexual man, there ain't no praying this away.
Hell no.
So already with that whole idea and trying to do that to others already makes me look at him with the side eye. But at the end of the day, this is not for me to decide. This will be decided by the God, but also by a court of law. Do people sue just for monetary reasons? Of course. However, it remains to be seen after this particular lawsuit if other people will come forward. Because if any of this is true, please understand, Mr. Corletto is not the only victim, if this is true. So we shall see. We shall see. But like I said before, this whole narrative of pray the gay away already makes me kind of look at Donnie McClurkin like, well, all right, if you feel like you could really do that, I wouldn't be shocked that behind the scenes that you are still facing some internal demons when it comes to your sexuality. But we shall see. We're going to continue to follow this story, guys. The door is now officially open.
That is funny.
According to TMZ, Nene Leakes is set to return to the Real Housewives franchise for the new Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip. But there's a little bit of a caveat. So make sure you get your tickets today. There are meet and greet tickets available as well. And don't forget, even if you are across the world, around the world, if you're in South Africa, or if you're in London, or if you're in New Zealand, you have an opportunity to watch this live stream as well. Get your tickets today. Again, ticket information will be available in the description. And I'll see you guys on Friday, March 13th at the Green Room 42. So, Real Housewives of Atlanta star, former Real Housewives of Atlanta star, Nene Leakes. We told you a few weeks ago, before the holidays, that Nene Leakes was in consideration for returning to the network for Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip. Not Ultimate Girls Trip, Ultimate Road Trip, where they would be traveling to some of the most important spots of Real Housewives history. As you know, this year celebrates 20 years since the very first show, Real Housewives of Orange County, started. So they wanted to do it in a big way. So there were rumors that Nene Leakes was also in talks to join. The week later, first of all, shout out to all of the ex users that were spilling this tea before anyone else, before any of these major outlets were spilling the tea. So shout out to, Mary Cosby fan, Pop Tings on X. Those were the sources that we utilized when initially reporting the story. And if you listen to Club Kempire on Apple Podcasts, I revealed to you more details that I got. So I'll reveal it now. So at the time, before Nene even signed in on the dotted line, she was just in talks. She had not received a contract, allegedly. Well, now I figured, because the other thing that we found out, Vicki Gunvalson revealed that they were going to start filming at the end of this month for Ultimate Road Trip. And as you know, she's returning to Real Housewives of Orange County. She says they are going to start filming that after this next month for OC. Sidebar, you may have also seen the news that Katie Janela last week confirmed that she will not be returning for season 20. Surprised? I'm not surprised. I know some people are disappointed. I will not be disappointed until I see what kind of cast they're trying to put together for season 20. Not to say that I'm going to even watch, but that's me. As I said to you before, what I heard was the fact that Nene Leakes was just in talks. She had not received a contract. I'm not surprised, again, because we know they're going to start filming very soon, Ultimate Girls Trip, this new iteration, which was announced at BravoCon by Andy Cohen, that they were working on this. And I still didn't even get, when he described it at BravoCon, I didn't understand the premise of the show. I understood that it was some sort of Ultimate Girls Trip, but different. And after hearing what TMZ is reporting, I'm sort of like, okay, full-time, what's a part-time? I have an idea what part-time could mean, but we'll unpack. So this is what TMZ reported just a couple of hours ago on their website in regards to Nene Leakes' return. So they say this. They said Nene Leakes is heading back to Bravo years after her exit and after she sued them for discrimination. Remember, she then dismissed that lawsuit, and word on the street, according to sources, they never confirmed this, but according to some very reliable sources that reported to me, she was in talks for years. All of that time, she recently settled with them. When I say recently, it was before she started working with NBC Universal again. So some of what you saw in regards to her starting to work with NBC Universal, that was after she had some sort of settlement. There were all kinds of outlandish rumors that she had this multi-million-dollar settlement with NBC Universal. According to my sources, that's not true. That $50 million settlement that she received, that's not true, according to my sources, allegedly. But if anything, her relationship with the network improved. They still wanted to work with her. Andy Cohen also revealed recently at BravoCon that he had been in communication with Nene. If you went to my London show last year, in 2024, because it was December of 2024, I spilled the tea at the London show that Nene Leakes was going to be on Traitors, this past Traitors that finished. However, but because of her son Brent being ill, she had to turn it down. She later confirmed that she was in talks to do Traitors, but she could not leave. And that was part of the reason why Andy Cohen was in communication with Nene after her son became ill. And for those that don't remember the history, Nene said all kinds of things about Andy Cohen in the lawsuit on social media, all kinds of things. We're not going to revisit. But to come this far, it says a lot. Do I think that Andy Cohen forgives Nene Leakes for the things that she said and all is good and he's looking forward to being besties with Nene? No. No, I don't think that. I always tell you this about Andy Cohen. Andy Cohen is going to do whatever it means to line his pockets. He knows that Nene Leakes is forever missed on Real Housewives. He also knows that Nene Leakes has a great talent in regards to sparking attention and interest. So if anything, what he's seen a decline in interest when it comes to Real Housewives, he knows that her coming back would reinvigorate it, at least temporarily. So they said that Nene Leakes, they said production sources tell TMZ that the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum will appear on Bravo's newly announced working title series, The Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip, which Andy Cohen announced during BravoCon. While the series was announced, no cast members were named.
Everybody keeps saying, is Ultimate Girls Trip ever coming back? Guys, Ultimate Girls Trip is back, and it's on Bravo, coming in 2026.
The reason why he says Bravo is because, remember, Ultimate Girls Trip always would premiere on Peacock. It was like a Peacock exclusive, which I kind of prefer, to be honest.
Housewives Ultimate Road Trip, celebrating 20 years of The Real Housewives. We will have iconic housewives taking the road trip of a lifetime to the housewives cities, where they will be joined by iconic housewives past and present.
So there will be probably a set of full-time housewives. This is important to note as we continue this story. There will be a set of housewives that you'll see consistently throughout this series. According to this new report, Nene Leakes is not one of those housewives. I know. I'm disappointed in that news as well.
Of 2 decades. This is going to rock your world. So,
when Andy Cohen says something's going to rock your world, I mean, he can't really say that until it actually happens. This was before it was even filmed. But they continue. It says, according to TMZ sources, they say that Nene, who departed Real Housewives of Atlanta in season 12, we're about to see season 17. Can you believe that? She departed in season 12 in 2020, will not be a full-time cast member, but will have a notable presence when the show makes its way to Atlanta. We're told that she will appear only during the Atlanta leg of the trip. Our sources say that the series will also feature numerous cameos from housewives across multiple franchises, with different women appearing in various roles in each city, along with Girls Trip. And according to my sources, I know 1 or 2 of them. Maybe I'll wait until March. I'll tell you guys more, because I probably will have a lot more tea in regards to this. But I do know a couple of people that have confirmed. The new series is the latest evolution of Ultimate Girls Trip, following fan favorite housewives from across the franchise as they travel through some of the most iconic locations in Real Housewives history while celebrating 20 years of the franchise. Nene's return is notable given her previous legal battle with the network. As TMZ reported, she filed a federal lawsuit in April of 2022 against Bravo, NBC Universal, the production companies, alleging a racist and hostile work environment. The lawsuit was dropped in August of 2022, with both sides agreeing to resolve the dispute through arbitration, which was a part of her contract. Which says to me that she did take quite a while before they settled that lawsuit and she was able to work with the network. And you may have seen the interviews over the years where she would talk about would she want to return to Real Housewives of Atlanta, would she want to continue to work with NBC Universal? And she sort of said yes, no, maybe so. According to TMZ, they've reached out to Nene and Bravo. So far, no word back. Bravo's not going to respond. If anything, the only way that we will know that this is happening is if fans see them filming during the next few weeks. Not sure how long they will be filming for. I'm assuming it won't be that long, because typically the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, they film for like 2 weeks. And they get like about 8 episodes. I'm excited for this. I'm a little disappointed that Nene is not going to be full-time. As I said to you before, Nene was in talks before the holidays. So probably they didn't want to pay her what she wanted to be full-time. Or we have to also think about this. Nene does have a son that is ill. Yes, he's doing a lot better according to Nene Leakes. But she probably doesn't want to be across the country filming this thing and not near her son. So it could also be that. Or it could also be they weren't willing to pay her what she's worth. We will never know until Nene decides to tell us. But either way, some people said it will never happen. People have said the door is closed. But apparently, the door is officially back open for Nene Leakes. Does that mean she will return for season 18? I don't think so, guys. But will she be working with the network in other capacities? I could definitely see that. Maybe season 5 of The Traitors. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on the news that Nene Leakes is going to return to the network. Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip. Are you excited about that? Let me know. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show again, New York City, Friday, March 13th. It's right around the corner. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, get your tickets today. If you can't come to New York City, sorry. But there is a live stream option, so get your live stream ticket today. More information on that will be available in the description. Andy Cohen is confirming that Nene Leakes will be a part of Real Housewives' Ultimate Road Trip, and he's spilling a little bit more tea on what we can expect from this new iteration of Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip. But I have some exclusive tea as to some of the things that are happening behind the scenes and why I believe Bravo is playing in Nene Leakes' face. So, as you know, yesterday we had the breaking story from TMZ that Nene Leakes is returning to the Real Housewives franchise. However, they did reveal that she would not be a full-time cast member. And a lot of us said, wait. And I speculated, I said, maybe Nene didn't get the amount of money that she wanted. You may recall before they broke this story yesterday, there were rumors that Nene was in talks. I gave you the exclusive. I said, well, yes, I've heard from sources that she's definitely in talks, but she had not received a contract. Well, I have some more details as to what is happening behind the scenes. So from what I've heard, again, this could change, but according to Andy Cohen on his radio program, he says that they will be announcing the women that will be the full-time cast members that will be spearheading this road trip. And to be honest with you, for the most part, it's lackluster. And this just confirmed for me what a lot of fans have speculated for a very long time. Andy, the network, has their favorites. And some of you might say, well, these are the people that they feel they can work with. But do these people make great entertainment? Are these people the part of the reason why these cities are no longer flourishing? As you already know, Vicki Gunvalson said that she's going to be a part of this. So she's full-time. Let me remind myself, because I have the list in front of me in regards to what I've heard the actual full-time cast members will be. I'm sure one or two of them might change. I don't know. I'm not sure when exactly my sources got this information, because with contracts, things can change. According to my sources, Vicki Gunvalson, Kyle Richards, that for me was just sort of like, you guys really think that Kyle Richards is going to be appointment television for people to watch this road trip? And from what I've heard, it's not a road trip. These people will be flying in and out of these cities. It's not a road trip. So why are we calling it road trip? Well, okay, that's the working title. Maybe that will not be the final title. But that's what Andy called it at BravoCon when he announced this. So Vicki Gunvalson, who's problematic in her own right, but she's also returning to Orange County next season. Kyle Richards, who we've been told the network, we're tired of seeing Kyle on Beverly Hills. So you think we want to see her in a new iteration? No. Teresa Giudice, I will say this in regards to in Teresa's defense. Teresa's been off of the network technically and not in Real Housewives for almost 2 years. So part of me is sort of like, well, okay, I can see Teresa coming. Gizelle Bryant. And here's the thing. Some of you might say, well, Gizelle, she brings entertainment. This season of Real Housewives of Potomac lets you guys know that Gizelle cannot anchor a cast. She is not appointment television. But because she's a Bravo favorite, an Andy Cohen favorite, they've put her in this position. Portia Williams. Here's the thing, and I don't know how this season, well, I do know, but I don't want to say anything yet. We don't as collectively know how season 17 goes, but what we learned from season 16, Portia is a great side character. She's a great person to assist. She's not someone that can hold a cast down. I enjoy her for what she adds. I enjoyed her on Traitors. I wish we got a little bit more of her on Traitors. However, she is not who people wanted to see representing Real Housewives of Atlanta when they go to Atlanta. Lisa Barlow, not surprised at that. You guys made Lisa Barlow relevant over there in Salt Lake City. We talked about that during our recap. And apparently Luann. I'm not mad at that. Luann also has not been on Real Housewives in a very long time. Yes, she was on Love Hotel, but Luann actually brings it. Luann could anchor a Real Housewives of New York. I can't say the same for Gizelle. I can't say the same for Portia. Definitely can't say the same for Kyle. I know many people probably prefer to see Mary Cosby representing Salt Lake City, but Mary Cosby, she's finicky, so that might be part of the reason why we're not going to see that. But let me play for you what Andy Cohen said earlier today in regards to what we can expect from Real Housewives' Ultimate Road Trip.
We will be announcing the principal cast of Ultimate Girls Trip, Real Housewives.
I saw one mention in the news.
Yes. What was that?
I was surprised. I was surprised to see. Listen, I don't know if it's true. You can confirm maybe, but I saw that Nene is returning.
She's going to be making an appearance.
That is so surprising to me.
She's going to be.
That's
she's
great.
going to be when we go to Atlanta.
Wow.
She going to be there.
You know who's going to?
Not that she gonna be there. Oh, okay, but all right, fine. Pay attention to what he says about Nene, that she's making an appearance. Look, TMZ already gave us the heads up yesterday that Nene will not be full-time, meaning that she will not be one of the principal cast members of this Ultimate Girls Trip. And a lot of people wanted her to be. But based on what I've been hearing, according to sources close to the production of it all, what I've been hearing is the fact that Nene wanted to be full-time. That's what I've heard. But they only offered her this. They only offered her this appearance. And now I'm thinking to myself, they are just using Nene to bring in the viewers. And people are going to watch it. But what we should be is annoyed. Because what we shouldn't want is them to use Nene's name and likeness in order to bring attention to this new iteration of Real Housewives. I know a lot of people were excited, and some of you weren't. Some of you were like, Nene was unlikable. Nene said all kinds of things about the network, and now she wants to be back in their good graces. Well, obviously, they wanted to be in her good graces, too. They decided to, on whatever settlement they decided upon, and part of that settlement was her continuing to work with the network. They brought her on to work with other things under the NBCU umbrella. So now part of me feels like, yes, Nene said what she said. And I'm going to remind you some of the things that she said. And I understand why Andy Cohen might not be here for reconciling or being friendly with Nene. But you guys are more than willing to use Nene's name and image in order to bring people in for this. So remember back in 2022, August 10th of 2022, Entertainment Tonight reminds us, they said Nene Leakes is throwing shade on Twitter, and the internet is speculating that the shots she's firing are aimed at Bravo and Andy Cohen amid her ongoing lawsuit with the Cohen and the network. As you know, that has been since dismissed. They went into arbitration. The former Real Housewives of Atlanta star took to Twitter Wednesday to seemingly blast the network, claiming that they took job opportunities away from her. And word on the street, those job opportunities are still dried up. She's still blacklisted. According to sources, they said they stop, this is a quote, they stop every job opportunity that comes my way, Leakes wrote before tweeting again, this time referencing a he that she says abused her and felt threatened by her success. A lot of people assume she was talking about Andy Cohen. She says, I am happy I was able to help all the other black women get job opportunities that are working for them, she tweeted. He stopped me from working because I was a threat to his career, yet he was able to abuse me for years. Leakes also alleged that she has voice recordings supporting her claims, adding, I want to release these voice recordings so bad. The reality TV star also changed her Twitter bio where she made more claims, alleging that she was blacklisted and continued to insinuate that she has, quote, receipts. In a quote, she says, blacklisted for telling the truth and not wanting to be abused anymore, receipts, her new bio in the platform read. Cohen has yet to comment at the time in the lawsuit filed in Atlanta federal court. We won't get into that. But you'll remember the allegations. So I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, this is what happens when you say what you want to say about the network. Yes, but the network was more than willing to bring her back and work with her, but not in a full-time capacity. Let's continue to hear what Andy had to say about this.
We'll be announcing the principal cast of Ultimate Girls Trip, Real Housewives.
I saw one mention in the news.
Yes. What was that?
I was surprised. I was surprised to see. Listen, I don't know if it's true. You can confirm maybe, but I saw that Nene is returning.
She's going to be making an appearance.
That is so surprising to me.
She's going to be.
That's
she's
great.
going to be when we go to Atlanta. Wow. She's going to be there.
You know who's going to be real happy about that?
Who?
The Queens. Just the gays.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they love her so much.
Oh yeah. No, people are very happy about it.
Yeah.
Listen, we.
Notice how Andy said, you have to pay attention to Andy Cohen. He's not happy about it. He says people are really happy about it. And I already told you, I think if it was up to Andy Cohen, Nene would not be back at the network. But because the powers that be know Nene's influence and this is going to bring in ratings, that is the only reason why Nene Leakes is back. Because if it was up to him, very much like Jen Shaw, Nene Leakes would be getting the Jen Shaw treatment.
Classic.
We are going to be celebrating 20 years of Housewives.
Incredible.
And it would be hard not to without her.
I can't wait to see her back on TV.
And so
You're celebrating 20 years of Housewives, and there is no matter how you feel about Nene Leakes, and I know everyone has their feelings. You know, I call Nene out when necessary, but I never take away at the fact that Nene Leakes is the GOAT when it comes to Real Housewives. Not just Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives across the board. This show is going to flop because you guys are not respecting the legacy of what brought you the highest ratings that you've ever seen. That is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I'm not saying that it's just because of Nene, but she was such an important part.
I'm happy that I'm happy about it.
When does that show air?
When does it air?
Like summertime?
I don't think that I can say.
Like around which season?
I don't
Spring,
think I
summer,
can say.
fall, summer?
Yeah, spring, summer,
Winter, fall.
September, spring, summer. Yeah. Anyway, so I will be revealing the principal cast of Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip.
And when you say
girls trip.
okay, so road trip, they're going from town to town.
They're going from town to town. A group of about 7 or 8 gals
RV?
is going to be going from town to town.
In what?
And then just not of your concern.
Well, it's a road trip.
Well, no,
Are they taking a rickshaw?
Just more will be revealed.
A VW
and
bus?
Then there will be. In total, I think you may wind up by the end of the series seeing 60 of your housewives' friends. Something.
I heard last night, I'm just going to tell you what I've heard. He's saying 60. I heard like somewhere near 70 housewives are going to be involved throughout this journey. And like I said, from what I've heard, they're not taking, I think we all thought they were going to be in some sort of RV or a big bus. No, I hear they're taking planes.
Like that. Something like that. So there's going to be a lot. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so good. I'm really excited about this. The more all of the meetings we've had about it, I mean, we are just so excited for those of us who've produced this show for so long.
Yeah.
We're going back to the very beginning.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
So it's going to be really.
It's going to be really good. Well, here's the thing. I think it really could have been. I think they are spiting themselves. I get it. I completely get it. Nene Leakes. I don't want people in the comments, not that I care, but I want you to understand that I understand that Nene Leakes accused them of some of the most horrendous things. However, they all decided that, you know what, despite what was said, all is forgiven. You can continue to work with us. The fans keep saying that they want you back. We're celebrating 20 years. You are one of the people that help us make this a success. At the end of the day, Andy Cohen, she has made you millions of dollars. Millions. And I thought that your focus is always going to be on making the money and that you could make even more money with Nene Leakes as a full-time cast member on this. It just doesn't make sense. We're going to get a blip. We're going to get a blip of Nene. From what I'm hearing, you're going to get a blip. She's going to make an appearance. You hear what he said? I've heard that she's going to make an appearance, maybe in a scene or two. Maybe. Because you have to remember, yes, they're going to film a whole lot of stuff. Doesn't mean that we're going to get a lot, okay? Or it could turn into a lot. But she's not going to be full-time. What we're going to get is Vicky, Kyle, Gizelle, and look, and I love Portia, but Portia can't carry a show. She cannot carry a show. She can't carry Atlanta. Of all the places, if you had gotten Sheree, then I would be like, you know what? At least Sheree is an OG. She was there from the beginning. She helped build this house. But Portia, where you saw record lows in regards to your ratings of last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then Portia gonna block me again. I know. I don't care. I'm speaking my truth. Okay? Y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of Nene all the time either. But you gotta call a spade a spade. This show is already a flop because you're not doing what you need to do. I really thought when we found out that she was not going to be full-time, I thought it was Nene's decision. I thought that Nene was like, you know what, you're not going to pay me enough for this. Some people speculate, well, maybe Nene doesn't want to be traveling around America because Brent's health has not been the greatest in recent years, hence why she turned down Traders. But word on the street, according to my sources, and these sources are damn good, according to my sources, they're saying that Nene was never even offered full-time. Nope. Has nothing to do with Brent. It has to do with Bravo basically using Nene's name in order to help promote this show. You do notice none of the other information about the other women on this show has sparked interest or blogs reporting on this. It's Nene's return to the network that's bringing the attention to this. But I'm giving you all a heads up. What you're going to get from Nene is a blip. And I think they're only doing this because they know you can't celebrate 20 years of Real Housewives without having Nene Leakes be a part of it. So just when I was about to finish editing this video, I saw that Nene Leakes has broke her silence on joining Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip or whatever iteration this is going to be. Let's take a listen to what she has to say in regards to returning. She even thanks Portia and Phaedra for keeping her name over there at Bravo.
It's your girl, Nene Leakes. Okay, so where do I start? This has been a really long, long journey. And, gosh, I'm happy, overjoyed to say that I will be returning to Bravo. I almost can't even believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy. First, I have to thank a lot of people here. I want to thank Francis Burke, Andy Cohen, so many executives behind the scenes who have worked to make this happen. So many people that have continued to throw my name in the ring over and over again. Thank you to everybody over at Bravo. Thank you to all the people over at Truly Original. Thank you to Shed Media. Thank you to the producers on the ground who are calling and texting me and wanting this to be an amazing thing. I'm so happy to do it. I'm so happy to do it for you guys. Thank you, Darren Ward, for talking me through everything when we talked a few weeks ago and cried on the phone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I have to thank some of the housewives that I know that have continuously kept my name, being said behind the scenes. Portia Williams, yeah, thank you so much. You know how I feel about you. You're my little sister. Thank you. I appreciate everything. Phaedra Parks, thank you so much, Phaedra, for keeping my name going. And all of you guys and all of you ladies who constantly say my name and keep my name out in the ring, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. I'm really grateful for it. I'm just doggone excited to do this. I'm excited to see all of you girls. It's going to be a time. It's going to be a time. Yes! Bitches, I am back, okay? Now pick your faces up off the floor. Okay! See you on Bravo. Love you.
I've heard more, but I'm only going to share more at the Kempire After Dark live show on March 13th. So if you're in New York City, want to be in New York City, this is my only show. Only show. I'm not coming to any of the other cities. Sorry, y'all. Not happening. But there's also a live stream option. Get your tickets today if you want to hear tea being spilled, okay? And I'm going to get more. This is just the beginning. I heard a lot more, too. It's not just about Nene. I've heard a lot more of other stuff that I want to talk about. So get your tickets today for that. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts. And feel free. I know some of you are going to be like, well, Kempire, you can't just be saying all those kind of things. And some of you be like, you know what, Kempire? I am not going to watch this if they're just giving Nene crumbs when she deserves the full loaf, right? Right. So if you've been under a rock, this story has been trending everywhere in regards to Desmond and Christy Sarah. Okay, they are a social media couple. They make a lot of content about their relationship, fashion, all kinds of stuff. He makes content. They have millions of followers. So this news broke last week that Christy filed for divorce and basically said that she was filing for divorce because of infidelity. He then came out with a statement several days ago where he says, I want to begin by apologizing to Christy, our family, and everyone who has been impacted by the public attention surrounding the situation. Which is interesting when we talk about the video footage. Yes, I had the video footage too. He says, I know this news has been disappointing for many, and I'm truly sorry for the hurt it has caused. Christy is the mother of my children, and that will always come first. I remain fully committed to being an active, present, and loving parent to our boys, as I have always been. Christy and I have faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. Towards the end of 2025, I wanted to separate. The end of 2025, sir, was just not even 3 weeks ago. Towards the end of 2025, when? November? December? When? A lot of people are dragging Desmond for this statement. Okay, so he says, Christy and I have faced challenges and made sincere efforts to work through them. Toward the end of 2025, I wanted to separate, and I had conversations with Christy regarding this. During this period, I made choices that I am not proud of. I took responsibility for those actions. I shared this with her directly and personally, and ultimately we decided to divorce. I asked for privacy, not privacy. I don't understand. How are you private? Your whole relationship is social media. I get it. You have every right to your privacy. I just find it so weird when couples that make their relationship their social media, and then I would like to ask for privacy. After you're caught out there cheating, during this period, I made choices that I'm not proud of. I took responsibility for those actions. Look, wait, hold on. The timeline's not time. You told her at the end of 2025 that you wanted a divorce, Desmond. You told her at the end of 2025. Within that period of time, you ended up cheating? That doesn't... You have no self-control. You have no self-control that you could not wait until you officially separated and signed on a dotted line. You could not wait. Okay. That doesn't make sense to me, but fine. Thank you to everyone who supported us over the years. I'm grateful for the support and will continue sharing my love for cooking and the things that inspire me. I hope you'll continue that journey with me. This sounds like he was trying to do damage control because being called out for infidelity, a lot of the people that followed him were probably women and a few questionable gays, because that's what stood out to me. When they announced this divorce, so many people in the comment section were like, wait, was it a man? So a lot of people speculated. They thought that maybe he was a part of the Ligga Bigga Tigga crew. The Alphabet Mafia. I can say that. I'm a part of it. Okay? And I was like, oh, because I've only seen a couple of their videos. And honestly, I've only started seeing their videos recently. Like in the last year, maybe not even the last few months, I've seen their videos. So when I saw this become headline news, I said, wait a minute. I was just watching one of their videos. And they're getting a divorce? So I knew nothing about them. Savannah says, Desmond, are you okay? Desmond, go get one of the mugs. Desmond, go get one of the mugs. Available now, houseofkempire.com. House of Kempire, go get one of the mugs. Ooh. So I recently saw some of their videos and I was like, wait a minute. I knew nothing about them, okay? And now I know everything about them, but maybe too damn much. But I was so drawn to the comment section. The comment section were like, oh my God, I always thought that he was blah, blah, blah. So last night when I was on TikTok, someone brought this story up, hence why we're talking about it today, because I didn't plan on talking about it. But we talk about everything in pop culture. And I feel like on a day of Real Housewives, why not talk about the ultimate housewife, social media housewives? Don't be surprised if Andy, where does she live? Is she in Texas? Where do they live? So you don't be surprised someone's going to try and want to do a reality show with her. Okay? I did see that Christy posted on her social media. I'm still living my best life over here. Look what she posted on her social media. She says, same address. Oh, okay. Looking fabulous. Beautiful home. She has the most followers. She has like 9 point something million followers. He has 1.9 million followers. And I'm sure losing them by the day. Especially after TMZ got their hands on video footage of Desmond kissing someone at the club. But let me just first of all tell you what TMZ reported. They said, Christy Scott filing for divorce from her husband, Desmond Scott, doesn't seem to be bothering him one bit because just days later, he was spotted getting hot and heavy with another woman. And TMZ got the proof. So they said that catch the late night Sunday clip, Desmond looked very comfortable at a Houston bar. Oh, so see, I was right. Houston, Real Housewives of Houston, here we come. They said that Desmond looked very comfortable at a Houston bar, Santee, with a woman parked on his lap as the two went full makeout mode like a pair of teenagers. It's pretty raunchy behavior, better suited for behind closed doors. But these two were fully locked, completely ignoring the room as they put their intimate display on full public view. Hear me out, because I had an aha moment when I was live on TikTok last night. And I said, wait a minute. I said, is this a scheme that Todd set up for Desmond to come to us with the BS? Because I know Desmond probably saw all those comments where you guys were saying that he was a part of the Ligga Bigga Tigga alphabet community. And I said, did he do this intentionally? First of all, because you guys were saying that, assuming that he had cheated with a man. And then, because it doesn't make sense. You put out a statement.
Always wanted to go skydiving, but I was over the 250-pound weight limit.
Sorry, y'all. Damn TMZ and their ads. Stop. Oh, I was like, who's that lady talking? I'm hearing voices. You heard that? Look, you heard that? No. So I said to myself, I was like, I had the aha moment when I was on TikTok. And I said, wait, did he do this and go public with this footage because he wanted to dispel the rumors that he cheated with a man? That's what I said. I said, wait a minute. Is that why he did that? Okay. It wasn't YouTube apps. I have YouTube Premium. Don't play me. Don't play me. I have YouTube Premium. Okay? Claire says, what community? The Ligga Bigga Tigga Alphabet Mafia community. But I saw all the comments. I felt like the comments on all the blogs were saying it. So the fact that this video footage, because this is new video footage. This is not video footage before. So he intentionally, you're a divorced man, you're asking for privacy, but you're at the club. You're at the club. Okay. You're at the club kissing. Can we stop publications? Oh, a Houston model. It's been revealed the Houston model is what? Marissa Springer. She ain't nobody's model. She's as much as a model as any of y'all that go on there and take a couple of pictures of yourself and then you're a little pretty and you post them up on the Instagram. A Houston model. I ain't never seen her at any runway shows. Maybe she was. I don't know. Do you guys know who she is? Anybody know who she is? Is she a popular model? We got Houston people. Okay? We got Houston. Come on, Houston. Do you know who this lady is? I have her picture. I will say what Josh said. It did cross my mind. I was like, wait a minute. Hold on. I was like, wait, hold on a minute. But anyway, look. Welcome. No judgments. Either way, why did we need this display? I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to walk you through this scene, okay? All right. So what we're seeing here, let me pause it. This is Desmond. This is Marissa. She's not a mystery woman anymore, okay? This is Marissa sitting in his lap at the club, okay? Desmond, that's Desmond, who's still a married man. He is still a married man. Exactly. Ms. Parker said they use model too loosely nowadays. For a while now. It's been a few years where they've been using it loosely for a while. Sir says, Sir Narcissus, I like your name. If Desmond lives here in Houston trying to dispel LGBT rumors, this ain't the city for the gays anymore. He might have a dude in Dallas or Austin. What? So wait, so when I come to Houston, I can't find a boo? Oh, okay. Noted. Look, noted. Hold on. B. Nicole says, I'm in Houston. I've never seen her or heard of her, but that jawline is strong. I was thinking the same thing, y'all. So let me go back through the video footage. Let's go back. So this is Desmond. TMZ got their hands on the video footage. We're playing under fair use, okay, for research and journalistic purposes. Okay, she's sitting in his lap, and he's slobbing her down at the club. Slobbing her down after asking us to give him privacy. He's at the club in an open space. So it's not even if you go to certain clubs and there's like a booth or there's a VIP section. And maybe that is the VIP section, but it's very open. This feels intentional. This feels like he wants to make the world know he's not part of the Ligga Bigga Tigga crew. And for me, I feel like it's damage control. That's what it feels like to me. Okay? For this to come out. Oh, damn. Never mind. I just saw something in the comment section. Okay, let me focus. Okay. They making out. Making out, y'all. Who's the guy that was in front of him? He's cute. Who's the guy in front of him? What club was this? Everyone's dancing. Everyone's getting they're zooming in. Not okay, TMZ. This feels intentional, y'all. Because why would you be making out at the club when your divorce is already it's everywhere? This is, because I know some of you probably get frustrated with me when I feel like everything is a scheme that Todd set up for these people to come to us with the BS. But you would be surprised behind the scenes how so much is orchestrated, how some of these relationships are orchestrated. And I know some of you are like, but they've been married for so long and they had a kid. You would be surprised what people will do for fame. Y'all believe all this other stuff about these black artists, what they would do for fame. But the minute we bring somebody from the other side, oh, this is what they did for fame. Oh, I don't believe it. Really? So maybe he hired Olivia Pope. No, he didn't, because this wasn't smart. I honestly believe this is damage control. This is damage control. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about Desmond Scott getting caught out there with Marissa. Apparently she's a popular, no, I'm adding the popular word. Apparently she is a model, okay, that likes Erewhon. I know that drink was expensive. Apparently she is a model, a Houston model, okay? I feel like this was damage control. Because the amount of comments that I saw on every blog talking about this, where people were like thinking, oh, he's a part of the community, the LGBT community. So I think he did this intentionally to be like, no, I cheated with a woman. That's what I think he did this for. Because you can't, in the same breath, in this statement, ask for privacy, and then all of a sudden you're at the club making out with this random. You're a married man. You apparently asked for a divorce. I don't know if you asked for a divorce. That's not exactly what you said. You were having these issues at the end of 2025. We just got into 2026, okay? So I'm not understanding the motivation in regards to going out to a public place. You could go to maybe because you ain't at the same address. Where are you staying? Are you staying at Marissa's house? Because Christy said, I'm same address. Okay, all right. Same address. Beautiful. That's a beautiful. First of all, she's beautiful, but that's a beautiful home. Like, I'm more interested in the home. Yeah. So this was him this is him at the club making out with Marissa, a model. That's all I'm gonna say. a model. Okay. I'm trying to find out who the guy is in front with the hoodie. Who's that? Who that? He's probably straight. This is probably a straight club. Okay. Someone took footage of them. I would not be shocked, y'all. Some people I saw in the comment section speculating that maybe it was Marissa, who is probably a failed model. Now people know her name. Now all of us know who exactly Marissa Springer is. Okay? Okay, jawline. Okay, jawline. Now we know who she is. She's probably like, win-win. I get attention, you get attention. Everyone doesn't think that you are. Look, I'm not saying anything, but I hate the fact that men nowadays, not saying that this is him, I hate the fact that there are DL men still in 2025. And I get it. I'm not telling you need to come out the closet, but I don't like it if you are being a fraud to women and putting women's sexual health in jeopardy. That's where I draw the line. I don't like that. If you want to be in the closet and you don't want people knowing your business, that's fine. I don't mind that. But if you are fronting, if you're fronting and you're dating women and you're not being 100% transparent with them, then I don't like that. Bloomingtail says model equals available for hire. Okay, look. Yeah, so that's the Desmond Scott story. I've gotten you up to date. I'll be adding some timestamps after the live, but I wanted to get you guys all updated with what's going on. I didn't realize that there were men. It's still, one of my stretch therapists tells me about the DL men. I was like, there's still DL men in part of y'all generation? But I guess between cultures, and there are certain cultures that are still very homophobic. But I was just like, damn. Not Jerry Springer's daughter. Does he have a daughter? Oh. But I don't think Marissa Springer is that person. So apparently she's been identified, the woman that was making out with married Desmond Scott, who just announced that they were having problems towards the end of 2025, and he said he wanted to separate. But apparently she found out that he was cheating. Christy, girl, send me a DM, girl. Is this the woman that you found out he was cheating with? I don't know. Former Real Housewives of New York star Bethenny Frankel is being dragged by the internet for her allegedly backhanded compliment after the news that Nene Leakes would be returning to Real Housewives. Don't forget, hot topics like this are some of the things that we will be talking about at the Kempire After Dark, a live show here in New York City, Friday, March 13th at the Green Room 42. There are meet and greets available, but there are also a live stream ticket available as well that you'll be able to keep for 1 week after the show, but you have to buy your ticket before the show. So if you're in any part of the country or the world, so if you're in South Africa, if you're in Paris, France, if you are in Sweden, if you are in Australia, if you're in India, you will be able to be a part of the Kempire After Dark, a live experience. It's the only show that I have planned for 2026. Thank you to everyone that's come across the country and in Europe. We had a London show that has come to the show. Get your tickets today for that. More information on that will be available in the description. So all of you, I was actually really surprised at the amount of people that tagged me on social media, from Twitter to Instagram to TikTok, about Bethenny Frankel's video talking about Nene Leakes returning to Real Housewives Ultimate Road Trip. We had some exclusives talking about this, and I told you that Nene was not offered a full-time position. A lot of people were disappointed hearing that she would not be full-time, and even more disappointed when you saw the full cast, the full-time cast for this show, the principal cast, as they're calling it. All of that aside, Nene did confirm, and she did a video where she basically just said, I'm happy to be returning. This comes after Nene sued the network, accusing them of discrimination and retaliation. She then dismissed that lawsuit and went into arbitration with the network. After the arbitration, which seemed to take like a couple of years, she did return to working for NBC Universal in regards to the red carpet, but she had not returned to Bravo. So I gave you a full synopsis, but before she really started working with Bravo, she had reunited with Bethenny Frankel during the reality TV reckoning. Even at one particular point, they were doing their own podcast together. And I told you, I think Nene saw what Bethenny was able to amass because they started around the same time and had the same level of popularity on Real Housewives. And she saw what Bethenny was able to amass. And she's like, why didn't I achieve any of this? Well, we could dig deep as to why Bethenny has what she has versus what Nene has. And it's not just one thing. It's a very layered. And there's a lot of things. Okay, let's get into it. Fine. Before we even get into it. It's very layered, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that one is black and one is white, and certain opportunities are afforded to white people that black women will never see. At least not right now in the current state of the world. But the other element, which is what we've always been critical of when it comes to Nene, is the fact that Nene isn't willing to do the work. She isn't willing to do the hustle. We were talking about that when it comes to her YouTube channel. What happened to the Nene Leakes show? I'll wait. But one thing I've seen about Bethenny continues to hustle, continues to do things that she doesn't need to do. She has a multi-million-dollar brand outside of Real Housewives, but she continues to work and elevate. She's now like an influencer I'm telling you, she's probably making way over 6 figures, probably 7 figures, just from being an influencer on social media. And I know what you're probably thinking. I wish she would stop influencing. Well, in some vein, like the products, people love hearing her reviews of products and things like that. Fine. Well, people were dragging Bethenny in her own comment section, but throughout the internet, because everyone is excited about Nene Leakes returning, including me. I am excited about her returning. However, it is interesting that she's returning after the accusations that she had against the network. But let's get into what Bethenny had to say. So Bethenny said this just yesterday.
On Nene going back to Bravo. So Nene and I have a good relationship, and I'm so happy for her for whatever makes her happy in her life. And everyone makes decisions for different reasons, emotionally, financially, career, relevance, whatever anyone's choices. I'm thrilled for Nene. And I want to mention a couple of things. One, I've never in history heard of someone go after a company and take legal action for different accusations and then that company hire them back. That's just an interesting dynamic. Like, I don't know.
So a lot of people are saying that she was a hater for that comment. They felt like this was a backhanded compliment. But a lot of you, because I read some of the comments that you guys said in this past week in giving you the update that she was returning. A lot of you like, how do you sue your company and then your former boss for discrimination and go back to them? Look, anything is possible. Look at Monique. Remember Monique, the legendary Oscar-winning comedian? She accused Netflix of the same thing, but she has now since returned to them and is working with them. I didn't think it would be possible. I thought the door was closed with Nene too. But after I saw that Monique stuff, I said, well, maybe it's not completely closed. And obviously, it's not. But does it make sense?
If there are any other examples of that, but I pitched to Matt Anderson, who is an executive producer on Miami and Atlanta and New York, a road trip show with just Nene and myself, where I took her to see my friends and visit things I'm interested in throughout the country and different restaurants, etc. And she would take me on hers. And they said that she was kryptonite and toxic and that they couldn't touch it, that the producer could never touch it. So I'm not in any...
And for those that remember when she reunited with Nene and she did a couple of podcast episodes with Nene, she said that then. So this isn't anything new that Bethenny is saying. She literally confirmed that Nene Leakes behind the scenes at these networks, all these networks, not just reality television, was blackballed. And this idea that she shopped to the network, she's not claiming that they stole her idea. Wouldn't be the first time that Bravo or NBC Universal allegedly has been accused of taking someone's idea. But again, road trip, it's not necessarily a new idea. But this idea that she had, I would watch this over what they're offering us with this current cast. And for those of you that are on X and you follow me, I reposted Bravo ratings, their ratings for Salt Lake City's ratings this week. They had a record low. which I'm not completely surprised because a lot of people have been saying Salt Lake City this season has been mid in comparison to what they brought before, and they never really bring it during reunions. And some of y'all were into like, Kempire, this don't mean nothing. People are watching on Peacock. Y'all could keep saying that people are watching on Peacock, but live ratings are a good indication, especially if you're seeing them drop, is a good indication that people are not watching. It's very convenient to say, oh yeah, people are watching on Peacock, where we can't track the ratings and we can only believe what the network wants to put out there as a media campaign. They need to change the rules for that. They should be able to have to provide actual evidence of their live stream ratings. But anyway, I've digressed. The reason why I brought up Salt Lake City, I said they might want to reconsider their cast because their cast included Lisa Barlow. And I was like, well, that she might not be the ratings bonanza. Even Kyle, the ratings for Beverly Hills are going down. They might not be the ratings bonanza that you think it is. Especially this week, you announce your cast, but everyone is talking about Nene Leakes being a part, even though she's only having a blip. And when I say a blip, she's not a full-time cast member. She'll be hosting something in Atlanta. She already filmed a welcome back scene, sort of, with Portia Williams, according to my exclusive sources.
It was kryptonite and toxic, and that they couldn't touch it, that the producer could never touch it. So I'm not in any way saying that they stole my idea. Road Trip has been a movie, and many people have had different road trip shows, nor do I care, and if they do or did, great. But it's just an interesting conversation on how, like, time heals all wounds, or not everything is as it seems in the moment, or about, I don't know, I think it's like a positive thing in, like, I mean, the bridge was not burned because they're doing this show with Nene, with the same concept, except that this is a group of people, and mine was just about her and I alone, but it was literally for us to go in an RV across the country, have all the receipts, pitched it also to Jen O'Connell, who remembers, but food for thought, because you guys love the tea, so maybe that's some tea. But I'm very happy for Nene Leakes, and I wish her all the best in her adventure life and on her road trip. You're welcome. P.S. When I pitched the show to Nene, she said, you keep thinking of these ideas, but they don't happen. And I said to her, because every time I pitch it to someone, they say no. So time heals all wounds.
Well, the people were dragging her yesterday, Bethenny Frankel, in her own comment section and on the internet. Some of the comments on her video alone say, congrats would have landed better without the backhanded commentary. Another person said, couldn't just say congratulations, ? A laughing face emoji. Someone else says, this seems like a backhanded congrats. The hate is real. Someone else says, sometimes you could just stop at congratulations. Another person says, saying nothing was also an option. Here's the thing. I'm glad that Bethenny said something, because there's a larger conversation that we're not having. And I've seen some of you have this comment in the comment section about Nene sort of coming back on her knees to the network after accusing them of being discriminatory and retaliatory. Bethenny's confirming that they have been allegedly retaliatory towards Nene, and why she couldn't get other jobs at other networks and things like that. Not to say that she hasn't. She has, here and there. But from what I've heard, there are a lot more doors closed as opposed to open. Okay, some of you might say, well, that's show business. Here's my thing, though. As you know, Nene dismissed her lawsuit against the network and went into arbitration with them. Whatever happened in arbitration, of course, they cannot talk about it. Whatever deal, whatever monetary compensation, they can't talk about it, okay? But here's the problem. The audience that left with Nene, there are a lot of you that said, when Nene left, I left. When Nene sued the network and accused them that I believed her, I stopped watching Bravo and NBC Universal. Some of you have said that. I can't say that the larger part of you may have done that. Here's the thing, though, where I feel like Nene had a bigger responsibility. You made these accusations against the network. There were people that were supporting you, believed in you. Then you dismissed the lawsuit, went into arbitration, and now you're begging for your job back. Because look, there have been multiple interviews over the last couple of years where Nene's like, I'm willing to go back. I want to go back. I want my job. Fine. A lot of you want to see her back. But I do feel like there is a level of responsibility that you have when you accuse someone of these things. You don't just go back. Has anything changed over at the network? Because if anything, in arbitration, once things were done, if we decided that we were going to work together, I have to be able to come back to whatever platform and say, guys, I know I had a lot of accusations against the network. They are working with me on making some changes at the network. We never got that. But I already told you back when all this happened, I said, I believe the real reason why Nene, she had valid concerns. She had plenty of receipts in regards to some of the things that we've seen in our faces over at the network. But I really believe Nene's motivation at that time was because Nene did not get the contract that she wanted in 2020. And when she walked away, she didn't believe that they would walk away too. And she was upset about it. I believe she always wanted to be back at the network. She believed that she built that network, and no one would deny that. She helped Bethenny helped build that network to what it is today, made them millions of dollars, and she walked away and said, I don't even have half of what Bethenny has. But you have to understand, half of what Bethenny has wasn't just because of reality TV money. It was because she actually created a brand that she's still creating and evolving in. So Nene returning to the network in this way, I think, again, the video that she did, even though I believe Nene wanted to be full-time, but she was never offered that for Ultimate Road Trip, she's using this as a way to at least have the door open to maybe in the future return to Real Housewives of Atlanta, work with the network, have other opportunities outside of the network. She's hoping that she will no longer be blackballed. She's playing the game. Can I blame her? Well, no, I can't. I can't blame her. But you guys, I'm sure will.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.